Welcome to Fustitude.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fustitude and Happy New Year. Yes, this will be the first time I'll be showing myself on the channel, like showing myself on the channel. So I believe this is going to be my first time of saying Happy New Year to every one of you. And thank you for supporting me. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for the likes. I really appreciate. And to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for always coming back. Thank you for coming back to see what we do here on the channel. And for to my new subscribers, I'm going to say thank you for coming here as well. Now, if you're new here on this channel, please hit the subscribe button. Do it for me. It encourages me to move on. It's always ginger my morale to always bring new knowledge to you, to your screen. So please, if you're new here, kindly hit the subscribe button and subscribe for me, like and share. And if you have any question regarding what I'm about to share with you guys, kindly drop it on the comment section and I'll definitely answer your questions. Now let us go straight into today's topic. Now, before I start on today's topic, I am going to share something with you guys. Before I add the knowledge of what I'm about to teach today, I was actually doing it wrong. So I just thought about it that if I was doing it wrong, then we have so many people that would be doing it wrong as well. So to enlighten them and to bring their knowledge to it, I decided to do a wonderful topic about baking powder. And because of my experience with baking powder, I've seen some good things about baking powder, some fails with baking powder, and so more. I decided to share my knowledge with you guys. So on today's topic, we'll be talking about baking powder. We'll be talking about the types of baking powder and some things, some effects baking powder has in our baked product. So before that, I'll be talking about what is baking powder. I'm not going to give a chemistry meaning to what baking powder is. So I'm just going to give it a very simple meaning that you and I would understand as a baker. Now, I believe every baker uses baking powder because baking powder is in almost all our baked products, in our meat pies, in our chin chin, at times in puff puff. Like myself, I use baking powder at times in my puff puff if I wanted to have this crunchy feel. So baking powder is in almost all our big products. So that is why we definitely need to understand what baking powder is. And many tutors, many bakers, whenever they have students that are coming to learn about cake, about pastries and all of that, they do not teach them the depth about some of the products they are using. They don't teach them what flour is. They don't teach them. They just use it. Okay, you just come use the recipe. They don't tell them what a yeast is, what it does. How it's supposed to be kept, how it's supposed to be used. If you use it too much, if you use too much hot water on it, things like that are what we should do as tutors to our students. If anyone should come to you to learn anything, please teach them what you're meant to learn, because at times we later go on to discover those things later on our own. While it is good because you're definitely going to gather experience, like myself, I actually gathered experience using baking powder. I gathered experience using yeast. I gathered experience using most of all these things. So I can boldly say yes, I knew this on my own. So I think it is good, but please, to save some stress and to save us so many mistakes of ruining products that we're not supposed to ruining customers' order and all of that, it is good to teach them everything. As a teacher, as a tutor, if you own a cake academy, it is good if you have experiences in all those things. It is good to share them with your students. So I'm going to start with the meaning of baking powder. Baking powder is a leaven agent. It's a leavening agent. It is a rising agent. Let me use it that way. Baking powder is a rising agent. It helps your dough or batter to rise. It helps your dough or batter to rise. And I believe as bakers, we know what a dough is, we know what a batter is. A dough, when it comes to dough, we mean chin chin, meat pie, and those are what we call dough bread. And when it comes to batter, then definitely we're talking about our cake. So baking powder is included in all those things I have just mentioned, and what it does, it helps it to rise. So the next thing we're going to talk about is the types of baking powder. We have two types of baking. I'm not talking about brand now. I'm talking about the types of baking powder we have. We have two types of baking powder. We have the double acting baking powder and we have the single acting baking powder. Now, I am not going to condemn any of all this baking powder in this video. I am just going to open you guys. I'm just going to give you wide knowledge to how to use them. If you definitely come across any of the two, how to use them and which is more favorable. So first, I'm going to talk about the single acting baking powder. Now, single acting baking powder mostly comes in small container, one white. Mostly, I'm not saying all the time, it comes in on short white plastic container. I think that is like the ones I have seen are in those white container. Now, single acting baking powder reacts when it comes in contact with liquids. And when I talk about liquid, I mean the egg, milk, water in our batter or our dough. So if you have any other thing that is liquid in your dough or in your batter, fine, but these are one of the major liquids we have in our batter or in our dough. So the single acting baking powder reacts when it comes in contact with the liquid. So when you have baking powder, when you add liquid to your batter or you add liquid to your dough, your single acting baking powder begins to react. And if you do not put it straight into the oven or start using it, it reacts and it ends there. It doesn't react afterwards because it is just a single acting baking powder. So it reacts when it comes in contact with the liquid, but it does not react after that. So what we do when we use a single acting baking powder is, if you are using a single acting baking powder, once you have added liquid, put it straight immediately into the oven. Or if you're going to fry immediately, because if you do not do that, it is not going to rise, it is not going to give you more results, it is just going to end with the liquid. And that is why most of the time we bake our cake and we just like, why is this thing not, it's not swollen, it's not raising, what is wrong? We have so many faults with our cakes. I'm just thinking, okay, because we don't know what is wrong, but okay, my recipe is correct now. I use the requested for 1 teaspoon of baking powder. I used it. Why, what's wrong? I added 1 teaspoon of baking soda. What is wrong? Those are the things we do not know is wrong. Those are the things we are doing wrong, and we think that okay, fine, that what I just thought I did it right. But because we do not have the wide knowledge about all those things we are using, we do not know what is wrong with our batter when they go wrong, or what went wrong with our dough when it happens. So next I'll talk about double acting, then we'll compare the two. Double acting baking powder reacts when it comes in contact with liquid, and reacts when it comes in contact with heat. So when you're using a double acting baking powder, as soon as you add your liquid, it reacts, and when it gets into the heat, it continues the phase 2 of rising. So you see the magic of double acting baking powder. It will definitely give you a good result. So at times we have so many order that our oven do not contain them all. So what we do is, after making our batter and putting everything, sharing everything into our cake pans, we put some of it in the oven and we relax. Okay, then after that we bring that out and put the next batch. Now if you are in such scenario, or you are doing, or maybe you have so much batter and that's what you do most times, if you are using a single acting baking powder, my sister, you definitely have two different results. Except you mix them separately, you are definitely going to have a different result, because your single acting baking powder has already reacted when it was in your liquid. It has done what it wants to do right in your liquid. So those ones in the oven are the ones that are going to come out well. You see, those ones that are on your desk are definitely not going to rise. It is not going to rise. It's not going to move from where it is. I remember as early last year when I was still doing it wrong, I was using the single acting baking powder. In short, I was not even seeing any results, because I did not even know that I was using a single acting baking powder, or there was one baking powder named double acting baking powder. So I was just using the random baking powder I just see in the market. So what result I get is, because I do not know that I do not have the knowledge that I need to put my cake batter straight in the oven immediately after adding liquid. I might just, okay, let me preheat the oven. Okay, it has not preheated yet. Let me do this. Let me pick this. Let me pick this. I'll wait till when it's preheated. I'll put my butter in the oven. That is where I always get it wrong, and I believe I am not the only one doing it, that I have other people that are also doing it same way I was doing it then. So if you are actually doing it like that, my sister, we are both together doing the wrong thing. I hope I'm making sense. We are both doing the wrong thing. Until when I had the knowledge of what baking powder was about, I was doing it wrongly. And then I was like, what's wrong with this cake? Like, this one is well reasoned, this one is not. What was wrong? But because later when I had the knowledge of baking powder, I knew, okay, fine, I was using the wrong one, and I decided to go and do my research on things I need to know about baking powder, and then I came across the double acting baking powder. So even while I was doing chin chin, there was a time I was making chin chin. I was like, I'll cut the chin chin very small, and you know how the normal size of cutting chin chin. And when I put it in the oil, it's just like that. When I later got my double acting baking powder and I used it for my chin chin, my sister, that was when I knew that yes, I was actually making a mistake all the way. Like, I was doing it the wrong way all along. So I saw the difference right even from my chin chin, not even from my cake batter. Because when I got my double acting baking powder, I used it straight out I had on my chin chin first. I wanted to be sure that yes, this is what I bought, and I want to know what is going wrong. Sorry, I use it while making my chin chin, and I saw the result. It was, in short, it was that was when I knew that yes, so this thing is actually the right way. So if you are using a single acting baking powder, you need to make sure it comes in contact with it immediately. So imagine you using single acting baking powder in your chin chin, when you still need to roll, you still need to cut before you start frying. You see that it has done its job already before you come in bringing it to the hot oil. But when you're using a double active baking powder, it is going to chill even at that period when it has not come in contact with it. You just see your baking powder chilling. So as soon as it comes in contact with the heat, it picks up the phase two and it starts working. So I want you guys now to go to your chef, to go to your cabinet or wherever you kept your baking powder. Please go there, and I want you guys to read what kind of baking powder am I using. Go to your chef and read it. Make sure it is a double acting baking powder. If you're not using a double acting baking powder, then you're doing it the wrong way. Your cake batter is not going to come out well. It is not going to double in size the way it's supposed to. You just see that when you bake your vanilla cake, it's just there. It's not going to move at all from where it is. That is because you're using a single acting baking powder. So I want you to start making changes now and prepare. Double acting baking powder are not expensive in the market. So go to the market and do your research about the kind of baking powder you need to get. They come in very large, a very big containers, so they can last well. The one I bought after I found out about baking powder, I'm still even using it. Like, I still have little in it, but I'm using it close to 6 months now. I'm still using it because what the requirement for baking powder is just little, maybe a teaspoon, 1.5 teaspoon, 1 tablespoon. They are not so much like that. So I believe by the time you get it, before you exhaust it safe, it might take a while depending on the kind of order you have. So please, if you have been using the single acting baking powder, please, I want you to make changes and do it right now and get the double acting baking powder for your big product. So if you find this video so helpful and you have any questions, if you want to know the kind of brands you need to go for, please just drop it in the comment section and I'll definitely give you an answer of the kind of brands that are in your area. Because at times you don't get, if I tell you the kind of brands I use, you might not get it in your area and it might be more confusing for you. So if you have any question on the kind of brands you need to get, just drop your questions on the comment section and I'll definitely reply them. And if you have any other questions regarding this same topic or any topic I have on my video or on my channel, kindly drop your questions on the comment section as well, and I will definitely answer your questions for you. I do not take time. Just drop your questions and I'll definitely answer. So do not forget to subscribe. I have more things to share with you guys. Subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell. If you click the notification bell, whenever I post a video, you get it straight to your mail that Food Institute has posted a new video so you can come and watch. So subscribe to my channel, like and share this information with your friends, with your co-bakers, so they can also have the same awareness like I did. Thank you so much, and see you in my next video. Bye bye.